Hey, it's me. Ooey told me, the guys with the five eyes that you see. And hmm yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the bear market that Top Shot is currently going through right now and how I'm gonna go about, you know, maneuvering through it. So first things first is unless you spend an exorbitant amount of money, you really shouldn't be worried. And unless you thought you were smart and you could buy like 30, top shots of, I don't know, Nico Bellinelli for cheap and then sell it like later, you shouldn't be really too worried because what the big spike that happened in January honestly was a bit too much, and it priced a lot of us out of moments that we wanted. Like there were so many moments that I would have liked to get. Like I know for me, I wanted this De'Aaron Fox moment right here, and like one point that joint was like 600 something dollars, and I was like, dang, I just can't get it. And you see here, I was able to get like my edition for about 355, and I'm pretty content with that because it's like a triple number off of his, and he's an upcoming player. But if we look here at the marketplace, like if you look back at my old video, you would see a lot of like you can see all the numbers have coming down. And this is a good thing for us because this is probably where they should have been. But the thing was, it was just too many people coming in and trying to get these pack drops because the way it was working out was essentially every pack drop was like a guaranteed return on interest, and depending on you would literally get either 100% to like 1,000 plus because it would be $9 for bases, but you end up might getting a LeBron or Kevin Durant or something, and that goes for like two, three, four, $500 easy. Or if you get the rare legendary drops, you pay like a couple hundred to $1,000 for the legendary, and you basically get an assured couple $1,000, couple $100 return. So everybody was trying to come in and eat on this. And the thing I think that hurt the marketplace to me, and I'm being very critical, are the crypto snobs out there. And the people I'm talking about are the people who try to act like gatekeepers of cryptocurrency, and they feel like all the NFTs should be like have scarcity and be decentralized and everything like that. And they came up in here just like with no kind of basketball knowledge, no kind of understanding of who's good and who's bad, and they go out here trying to get Jacob Paletti's, trying to buy whatever his previous moments were and buying them up, trying to sell them out, you know, thinking just because it's a limited of 1,500 of them that was really worth something. And I mean maybe, but in reality, if you were to get a Jacob Paletti uh, auto card, it wouldn't be worth too much unless it's like down to 10. Even then, I couldn't see it being $1,000, maybe a couple hundred. So those crypto snobs, they came up in here trying thinking they can make an easy flip, thinking this was crypto punks, and it turns out that's not what it is because this this app essentially models, it's sports collectibles, and it's like sports cards. And the thing with cards is the main market you for cards is usually kids. Now it's a bunch of grown adults. I mean, it's always been adults, but for the most part, most of the common cards and packs should be easily accessible for kids because it it's easy to collect that way and everything. So that's why you see a lot of these here with like 35,000 plus moments in these series because there are more people coming in, so more moments need to be released. Thus, meaning a lot of these moments shouldn't be that expensive in the first place. Like I'd say a Jason Tatum, 35,000 plus for Series Two. I don't see this going about $30, which ain't that bad because it's the second series, you know. Um, but getting that out the way, you should look at this as a good opportunity to buy because remember, a lot of these moments were worth so much more in the past back in January. Like this Xeon, I remember this Xeon being in the 300s, and The only reason I would get it is because it's Xeon. So, but if you look here, we go down to the complete sales history. Let's see. I'm gonna load and I'm gonna keep loading until we go past April. But this man, so I wish there was a. I could have sworn I heard someone calling somebody. Huh? Hmm. Anyways, um, let's see. Yeah. Now, if you go down here, you see that the price sales, are genuinely 200 something plus. I know back in January at least, it will take forever for us to go there because they still got to fix their, it's still in beta, so they can make this easier to do. But if you just look here, 200, 200, 200, constantly 200, a little bit under the 100s, and now we come up here 122, 130, whatever. So again, for the people that put a bit too much money into this or got the wrong kind of players, or they came in a little bit late or in the middle of January, they're probably hurting right now because their profits are probably down. But I know for me, I came in early enough to where like not 70% of my cards are still pack cards, so and a lot of them are series ones, so I'm just going to be up regardless. Uh, but if you're new to the space, then basically the door is wide open for you, and this has to happen. We have to have this open to people because the thing about this NFT is this NFT is not an NFT solely uh valuable because it's rare or it's first this and that. It's valuable because it's changing the sports collectibles market, you know. So it's always going to have that inherent value because it's the first to that kind of market. But when it comes to the collectible side of it, you know, it's going to be the way that the sports card market works. Damian, Joel, LeBron, Anthony, the stars are always going to be the most valuable. So of course the star series ones should be worth a couple hundreds to thousands of dollars. And then, the mid tier second players, there should be under them. And then the trash players should just be the easy play. The trash players essentially in the NBA, the people who want those are literally the collectors. Usually people are not trying to flip on a Josh Hart, or a Rudy Gay or a Miles Bridges. I said Miles Bridges, a Miles Bridges, because those guys, they're good, they're decent, they're role players, but for the most part, they ain't gonna be stars. So of course, the only people that are gonna like them are collectible people, and so those people shouldn't be priced out of these cards because they really don't have any future inherent value. When they retire, people are not going to be checking for them. These are the kind of guys where you say, yeah, I remember Miles Bridges back in the day, boy. That man was bad. He couldn't average more than 15 points per game, but whoo, he dunked that ball in your head. That's the kind of player these guys are. So, you shouldn't have Chris Paul have prices comparable to Montrezl Harrell or whatever. But LeBron James is LeBron James, and Jason Tatum is an upcoming star. So of course, paying 460 plus for his, it makes sense because once this app has millions of people, 15,000s of LeBron James, like what is going to basically become one of his most legendary shots ever. So ignorant, this. Of course, this is going to be worth a lot. People are going to be buying this out. Not a lot of people are probably going to want to sell it, and a lot of people are going to be wanting to show it off. So again, you got to take advantage of these bear markets, and that's the thing when it comes to investing. Investing is all about taking advantage of opportunities in your market. It's you can't be thinking so much about hitting the jackpot and the moonshot, you know, because for the most part, most of us don't have the money to think about that. If you're the kind of dude that could drop a few $1,000s into something, then you maybe you have more of a cause because it doesn't take too much for you to have your a two times investment for you off a $4,000 investment. That's 8,000. Whereas if I'm a dude with only $250, two times is only like 500. You know, so a lot of us are in this space right now because this attracts a lot of basketball fans who are quasi into crypto. A lot of us don't have the kind of money to treat this like it's a crypto punks and stuff. And that's why, don't be do not be threatened by this. If this goes lower, okay, fine. Eventually, it's going to bottom out. You got to remember, this is still in beta. They have a couple 100,000 people on here, but really, it may be 100,000 or less people that are actually really active on this. And based off of how long it's taken my Luka Doncic to sell, I don't even think it's that. It really might be 50,000 people really actively trading up on here. So let's just look at the marketplace right now. You know, a Series One, uh, game defining dunk by Michael Porter Jr. 275 could go lower. That's great though. I was seeing this thing at 600. I'm eyeing this Lou Williams handles because I had it in the pack before I sold it. But at 69, I can imagine this bottoming around 50. But come on, even though Lou Will hasn't had an All Star game, he's one of the best NBA players like ever. If you think about everybody that's ever played, out of the thousands and thousands of dudes, Lou Williams is probably top 300. Because how many dudes are winning that many six mans of the year awards? If you took the starting fives out of all the NBA teams that have ever existed, and you just graded players based off of who was on the bench, this dude's basically top 50 all time. You know, he's a legend in his own right. DeMar DeRozan, his 15,000 LE. People don't really respect DeMar DeRozan the way they should, mainly because his Toronto Raptors teams just always underperformed. But he is one of the most solid scoring guards ever seen in a game. Zion Williamson's 15,000 dunk. I actually see this being as low as $60, but this is a great pickup like at 100. I remember this was going for about 320, 300 something or whatever. I think especially when I got it. And this actually is one of his best highlights on the whole app. And see, that's the thing. Like, there are just the valuations for a lot of these moments still have been priced in because a lot of people are just focused on turning profits and getting, certain moments as soon as they can. Eventually, people are going to have to start thinking, okay, but what plays just look better? Because these ain't like cards, like these are actual plays. And this play right here, his dunk, that's like one of his best plays you got on the that's one of the best plays you've got on the on the app, because he has another play like this play here. This play is also really good where he basically barrels a dude in midair and stuff. So that's a great, because it just shows how strong he is. But I mean, if you really think about it, what's a better looking play? That play or this one? Where he gets with that jab and he goes up poster. Come on. And this is the kind of Zion we were seeing in high school. So this is the Zion we've always wanted to like see, like how he would do against grown men, and it's really the same thing. You know, and I think a lot of people are going to eventually come to realize that, like, just because a moment has is more scarce than another moment, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be more expensive at that moment. Because if that moment doesn't look as cool as that other moment, you're going to have more people wanting to buy that moment, and thus there's going to be less of those moments sold. So in a certain kind of terms, like, it's probably going to be more scarce than this moment, because you got more people selling this one, less people selling this one, more people keeping that, and everything. And let's just keep coming down the board. Like if you're a guy, if you've got a certain particular player that you like, you're in, this market is just all for you. This is great. Kawhi Leonard, one of the best in the game, also underrated dude because he's not really marketable as a star, but he's one of the few superstars that keeps his mouth shut, and that's why I like him so much. He got his 75,000 common card, $56, and again, you gotta understand, like a lot of these cards, card moments may seem like they're a lot, but if their main goal is to have millions of people on this site in this marketplace, then to me, everything that's 15,000 under is going to be quite desired, as I can say, because when you have that many people coming in, you know, if you got 30,000 Kawhi fans, it's Especially, let's say he does eventually win a championship with the Clippers. 75,000 is not a lot. Not 75. 7,500 is not a lot. And also for my speculators out there, there's a lot of young cats that you can get a really decent moment for too. If no, if you're like, if a lot of people are really high on Kobe White, you know, Kobe White, Jared Allen, they have some moments in their series ones. They're like 100 so, and they're going down and down. They may be 100 sub 100, but those guys can be really good players, especially Jared Allen. I actually have a good feeling that he'll be one of the best defensive players. I think he is one of the best defensive players in the game, and I have high hopes for him. I feel like he's one of those dudes that can end up his ceiling is like dark horse MVP candidate. To me, he's really athletic and tall, and he's got cheat moments. If you're a Kevin Love lover, he doesn't actually have too many moments on this site himself. So you really love Kevin Love. This is his first moment. Only 1,500 of them. About 219 could be ending up in the 150s. You just gotta look at this from the mind of an investor. Only because of how dramatic these prices have been falling, there are a lot of affordable Series 1 moments. Because when this market was the way it is in June, you know, that could eventually just be the way it'll just normally be. That could, in the future, who knows? But I think June is probably what we might end up seeing next year once the NBA is completely back in action. People are completely filling the stands, and our economy. Well, let me not talk about the economy, but our sports economy is more normalized. Things go back to normal, you know, and especially depending on how Zion and LaMelo develop as well. If Zion and LaMelo develop into Zion's already in his superstar phase because he just got his first All Star already, and if LaMelo becomes an All Star next year, the game is going to blow up because kids love these dudes. This I'm telling you, the whole game is going to blow up, and this is going to blow up as well. So don't be worrying about your prices dropping. If your prices are dropping, okay, whatever. Focus on getting a lot of these other moments from these other star players because that's also going to help hedge your bet. Your dude goes down 100, you get a really other good dude for 50, and he goes back up to his 50 goes up to like 70. Well, now you pretty much got like a $30 loss. So you can hedge your bet with some of these dudes because these prices eventually are going to hit a bottom, and who knows, we may have that bottom for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. I don't know, because that's how bear markets tend to work. Remember Bitcoin 2018 through like 2019, 20. That bear market, to me it wasn't that tough. It's a lot of people, it was driving them crazy seeing Bitcoin from 3 to 5,000 and not even coming close to touching 10,000. So you've got to kind of look at this the same way. And also, if you're a dude that just genuinely just wants to collect, you've also got to think about that too. Like, oh my god, well now everything I want is cheaper. I remember seeing this Trey Young was like 120 at one point. Now it's $23 at its lowest. You know, his Markel Fultz I was eyeing, I was seeing it in the 400s, 215, like literally half that price. Again, and this Xeon, 129. Hey, I saw this Emmanuel quickly when he first came out. This joint was like $1,400. Lowest ask now is 372, and I really like Emmanuel. And actually, let me see. Let me see what kind of play this is. This is a pretty good play. This also shows you what kind of player he is, because so he's surprisingly less athletic than I thought, and he's not too big, so he can't play the way De'Aaron Fox kind of plays. But his play style, he looks like a. If anything, I would say he's like De'Aaron Fox combined with uh Chris Paul, because he actually is he is pretty quick. Like, that's his last name. Don't wear it out. But also, he has an extremely good touch on the ball. Like right there, that floater. That's really his signature move. Actually, like he can float the hell out that ball. You know. So this is a really good moment. It's his first moment in his first game, first play, and this could go even lower. If this goes into the 200, I might have to eye getting that. I remember seeing his rookie cards. Some of his rookie autos are kind of like at that much, and those just blew up too. So, when you look at this kind of game, it goes up and down. But because this is crypto, it's more volatile than like the card market. So you just gotta kind of, and also if you feel like your card is dropping too much, stop loss. Just try to get it out there. I've had a couple cards that I've already sold. And they were, when I just saw how badly they were getting hemorrhaged, I was like, okay, I'm just, because I didn't really like those players or those cards and stuff. And if you look at here, this is another key thing. Um, Pay attention to some of these rare cards as well, like season one and rare cards. These things are dropping really hard, and people are ignoring the fact that eventually, again, like I said, there are going to be millions of people on this. The NBA's invested. Jordan is invested. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that are going to put their money behind this. And something like this rare Kawhi Leonard, like the All Star Game series rare. Okay, I know the All Star Game wasn't all that. Not a lot of people in the crowd. It wasn't the best. Didn't have the best moments, right? But it's still the first All Star Game moments in Top Shot, and thus the first All Star Game NBA moment NFTs ever. So if this thing is like 10 years in the future, you really think you about to get this Kawhi, especially after Kawhi's retired, he's championships MVP'd and everything like that. You really think you about to get his first All Star moment for $219? No, put that into perspective. Just got to put all this in perspective. Heck, look at this. Even the rare series ones, Cam Reddish is a decent player. I think he's going to be in the league for about 10 years. But, you got his rookie moment uh, special rare card. Only $4.99 made, 330. This drops to 200. Man, come on. It's going to be almost... It's so... I wish I had the capital to take advantage of a lot of these cards. It's crazy to me. It's just because everything is getting so cheap. I look at this as just an opportunity, because you also gotta remember this is like Top Shot's first year being somewhat mainstream. So okay, it's dipped, but most of these moments were much cheaper before. So the worst that happens is they get back to the prices they were in the past. But think about this. Most of you guys who signed up and got on a Top Shot, most of you guys have come on after me. So you gotta really think about how you probably felt when you saw them high prices, and you're just thinking, "Oh, if only I could." This Zach Levine's $900. You know, this Devin Booker's 1,000. I can't get that. Guess what? They dropped to 200. Devin Booker Series 1 bubble moments like 400 something. They're dropping down to, some of them are dropping down to the levels they were before, and some of them are dropping down to above, just above. But either way, you're at that point where you're getting the opportunity to get these things cheaper again. And I mean, again, this LeBron 3-pointer here, this joint was touching $1,000 a little bit. This right here was over 1,000. This KD was in the 900s. Like, I'm telling you, like, right now is the best opportunity to get these cards. And of course, this isn't financial advice, and these things can always dip lower. But even if they dip lower, well, it's even easier to buy. So I think so. My strategy, what I'm really doing is I'm waiting. I'm kind of just consolidating a couple cards that moments that I don't really care too much about. Like right here, this Luka. I did feel like I wanted to keep this Luka, but if anything, I'd much rather have a Luka rookie card, if we're being really honest, than this. A Luka rookie is going to go for more than this. So I'm going to get rid of this Luka, this Jeremy. Hopefully I can get rid of these guys too. But after that, I'm pretty content with what I have. I have a lot of Series 1 moments. I have a good amount of really high serials and some of my players as well. I've got a good, like, the players I want to, like De'Aaron, Donovan, Ja, Colin, Giannis, Cole. I've got a lot of the players I want anyway. So, because you got to kind of know when to pump the brakes and not put in too much more than you can afford to lose. But you also got to just know when to, like, just chill out. Focus on your other investment. Diversify yourself. So, I'm going to sell some of these moments, and then I'm going to take the money from that, and I'm just going to put them into, like, other cryptos like VeChain or Cardano and stuff. And that's the way I'm gonna go about it, because might as well diversify a little bit. Um, and yeah, that's the gist of this video. Again, don't worry, this is a pretty bad tip, but I mean, what you expect? This is cryptocurrency. That's how cryptocurrency works. This isn't a save from anything. And let's be thankful that the Dapper Labs team made their Flow blockchain to be able to do this and process this without crazy fees. Because if this is on Ethereum, this would have crashed the Ethereum network, and it would have been nigh impossible to really get off the ground, because we would have had to pay all these gas fees for this and everything. So we really just need to, be thankful for the team that brung this kind of application for us, and for us to be able to like be on the ground floor into the next step of trading collectibles in the sports market. This is the next step up from sports cards. And you never know what the future holds. Who knows if Panini gets involved with this, and you can, let's say in the future, the holographic technology gets to the point where you can easily have a card that has a holograph that comes up from it. So imagine NBA Top Shot X Panini special edition NFT cards, where you get the card and you put it down, and a little holograph with the play comes up and shows it or something, or you scan it with your phone and it shows the NFT actually playing from that moment or something. The future is still limited for this brand, so it's going to stay here. So if you're trying to invest for money, you need to think about the long term. If you're trying to flip, this ain't the best market to flip right now. You might have to come back a bit later on the upswing. But anyway, if you're trying to flip in the first place, well, I mean, shit, you might as well do this now. Get come in on this, because it's bottoming, getting close to the bottom. So I could honestly probably feel in another couple months prices are just gonna go back up. Not saying they're gonna go back up a whole lot like in January, but they're gonna bounce back up. That's just how people work. And if you're just a collector, well, again, this is a great chance to get in and get yourself a lot of moments you want to collect. And if you're watching this, if you see my moments on sale, you might want to buy a couple. 830, Jamal Murray for 60. You're gonna be all star. 105 Markel Fultz. Hopefully, God repairs the cartilage in his ligaments. And but yeah, I think that someone should definitely pick up these two though. Someone should. Either way, I'm gonna see you guys later.